Coming up on this week's Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show.
We wrap up 2012 and begin 2013 with coverage of the Angler's Choice Invitational Team Tournament on Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia. Highlights of the Berkeley Big Bass Classic from Lake Murray, as well as the Carolinas Bass Classic Championship from Kerr Lake, and the North Carolina Division event on Lake Norman. Plus our Strike King Pro Tip of the Week and lots more straight ahead.
The Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for tuning in this week. Let's get right to the action. Matching skill with weigh-in strategy. That's the MO of most anglers at the recent Berkeley Sebile Big Bass Challenge held on South Carolina's Lake Murray outside of Columbia. The one-day competition consists of 6 one-hour periods where anglers can weigh in their single largest fish, as long as it's a Berkeley Sebile or Johnson bait, as they are the only baits that are allowed during this tournament. We join Stephen Britt on the water.
We're at the third annual Lake Murray Berkeley Sebile Big Bass Challenge. It's an exciting format. You know, at 9 o'clock they start weighing in fish, and every hour after that, 5 people get to win cash and prizes. The baits we're using are Berkeley Power Bait Power Minnows in 3 and 4 inches. The smelt color or the pearl white's probably just as good as any. Power bait jerk shads, Sebile swim baits, the Magic Swimmer, or some of the splashers are another good bait that we can use. I think most of the fish are coming on soft jerk baits. The jerk shad in pearl white color. The bait fish pile up, and the fish, they kind of school up under them, and when they get ready, they just explode on them. They push them up to the surface, and it could be 2 seconds, it could be 20 seconds, even up to a minute, the fish they explode on the surface. And if you can be at the right place at the right time, and you got a bait that looks similar to the bait fish that they're chasing, you can put it right in their face and you can catch them. It's pretty exciting. It's fun to see. It gets your heart racing, but it's also very frustrating because the fish will be right in front of you. You got your bait right in the middle of them, and you can't always get them to bite. Oh my gosh, this is exactly what you're looking for. Here we go, guys. Throw it right in the center of the school. They're everywhere. So we've got 3 different baits tied on. We've got a 4-inch stick fish, we've got a 4-inch power minnow, we've got a 1/4 ounce flat shad, and these fish, they really key in on whatever it is they're chasing up off the bottom. I do believe it's blueback herring, and I think they corral them up and they focus on the one single bait fish that they're chasing. And getting them to detour and hit one of your baits may be one of the most difficult things I've ever done. But it is exciting. Nothing gets your heart racing quite like a school of 2 and 3 pounders coming up right by your boat. So this contraption here, this is the Berkeley schooling rig. There's 5 wires attached to 5 Berkeley split bellies. And it really looks like a school of bait fish swimming through the water. So throwing the rig is a process in itself. You don't just get to snap it out there with your wrist. You gotta have the right rod. In my hand, I've got the new Berkeley schooling rig from the Lightning Rod Shock series. We put a pretty powerful tip on it that helps you load the bait up. It's about 2.5 ounces, and it really helps you get long cast.
This one-day event brought out 120 boats with everyone having a great time. Andrew Marks, tournament director, tells us more.
This is the 3rd year we've done. It's a Berkeley Sebile Big Bass. So it's a big bass format, so it's an hourly weigh-in, hourly payout. So it changes the format up, basically a new tournament every hour. The challenge is that you must only use our branded bait, so it's Berkeley Sebile or Johnson, which is new to a lot of anglers or not aware of some of the products we have. So it's been a lot of fun, had a good turnout, had a lot of winners, cashed a lot of checks, and I hope made a lot of people happy. And like I said, exposed them to the different brand or different products that we've got in our portfolio. Well, you know, it was interesting because yesterday was bluebird skies and no wind, and this morning when they blasted off, the wind picked up. It got really kind of cold out there and choppy, and I'm sure it changed it up for them, but it seemed to make the fishing better. We heard a lot of people coming in, you know, before the off limits came in, you know, that they weren't really finding anything. It was a little bit of struggling, and we made in some good fish today. We had 1 5-pounder, a lot of 4-pounders. And of course, I always get excited when somebody brings in some really small fish. There's, you know, it does have to be over 14 inches, but I get excited over that because anybody can catch one fish and potentially cash a check for $75 to get your entry fee back.
A total of 30 anglers won at least their entry fee back. Prizes other than cash included everything from fish scales, tackle bags, to a giant screen TV. The top finalists drew keys that open a box worth $5,000 and Daryl Starkey was the big winner. Later in the show, Strike King Pro Kevin Van Dam gives us the Strike King tip of the week, plus more tournament action. Stay with us.
The Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show, presented by Progressive Insurance, sponsored by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time, and by Evan Root, because your boat belongs on the water.
One of the top team trails in the country, the Angler's Choice Marine Team Trail, held their 2012 championship on Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia. 170 teams qualified for this big two-day event. Take a look.
Oh, what's a big one?
Next up to the scales, boat number 111, Robert Hoyt. That means they got some good ones in here because that one's average. Wait till you see these. Hold that largemouth up though. Let's get a picture of that thing. 6.85 is our largemouth leader. That ain't gonna quite get it. That's still a good one. Look there. Come here, Ron. Here's a good way to show off them Ranger live wells. You can't even keep the board on these fish. That's a live one. 13.05 pounds. Is this the kind of small fish today or what? Man says maybe. Hold on a minute, man.
Some good keepers were caught, but the conditions were tough and the competition was tougher. Craig Blankenship and Robert Hoyt pulled it off with a winning weight of almost 29 pounds as they took home a brand new 2013 Ranger Z118.
Well, it hasn't really sunk in yet. You know, he's just, me, myself, I don't think about it too much, and you start thinking about it, and I think it just kind of messes up your fishing.
Well, mostly we fished topwater this morning, and well, I actually fished it all day, and he threw, different things there behind and stuff like that. And we just picked one up here and one there. It was tough.
Let's take a look and see how the rest of the field did. Congrats to Robert and Craig on a big win. We know we'll see him on the trail next year. That leads us to the Ranger Boats Question of the Week. In celebration of Ranger's 45th anniversary of providing excellent boats to anglers all over the country, we now test your knowledge of America's premier boat manufacturer. Our question this week, since its inception, how much money has the Ranger Cup Contingency Program awarded back to all the anglers? We'll be right back.
The Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show, presented by Progressive Insurance, by Strike King Lures, by Sportsman's Warehouse, and by Snag Proof.
Welcome back. To get the answers to the Ranger Boats Question of the Week, all you have to do is go to www.mydreamrig.com or go to anglerschannel.com and click on the My Dream Rig link.
This past fall, the Carolinas Bass Challenge anglers took to Kerr Lake for their 2012 championship.
Close to 100 teams took to the water during this two-day event. Conditions were great to begin with, but come Saturday, a cold front had moved in, and with the water levels extremely low, to say it was a challenge is an understatement. Anglers from across the region participated with 2 chances to win a new $50,000 boat motor trailer package, plus much more. 16 places made it to the paycheck line. And as many others will tell you, if you attend and participate at a Carolinas Bass Challenge event, you can be guaranteed that you'll be fed well. Barbecue, jambalaya, and all the fixings were on hand to the anglers and their families. Ultimate Match Fishing host Fish Fishburne, along with director Brett Collins, kept everyone entertained.
Don, congratulations on a great bag.
Well, thank you very much.
What do you do for a living, Don?
I'm a private investigator. You need your wife watch?
As a matter of fact, I'm not married. 13 and change?
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
Well, we just chucking and winding.
Wait, 11.50. Sweet. Where's the big fish man?
Right there.
Dude, did you catch the big one?
I netted the big one for my father.
How about that? Fishing with dear old Dad?
Yeah, dear old Dad. He done a good job today. I was proud of it.
Let me tell you what we've heard. We've heard topwater, a cigar-style bait, which may be a Czar Spook or a Lucky Craft Sammy or something, and we've heard crankbaits. And now
I was told crankbaits too, but we ain't caught a keeper fish up here in 3 days on a crankbait. So we went back to power fishing and throwing jigs and spinner baits and caught no fish. Never got the big bite today. So.
That's all right. You had fun. Look at his fingers, people. They could be artificial. What's going on?
Got a hold of a couple of striper.
Seriously?
Yeah.
They will tear you up. Now, did you get them on a crankbait?
I actually got them on top water.
So you wanted your bait back?
Definitely.
But if you don't care about the bait, you don't want to leave it in the fish's face. But,
Nah, on braid, they're not going to get away too easy though.
dude, and you use braid because it makes the bait walk a little better?
Yeah, you can get further casting distance, easier to work, and instantaneous hook sets when they hit it on a 40-yard cast.
Let's go to the partner's thumbs.
Well, yeah, I was a net man.
Your thumbs are fine. Now, wait a minute. If you've got a net, why are you grabbing them?
You got to get the bait back.
14.08. New leader. What?
New leader.
Congratulations.
How about that?
Yep, feel pretty good about it. I don't think 14 pounds on this lake's gonna hold up though. There's some pretty good guys that are still yet to weigh in.
And you guys already won 10 grand earlier?
Yep, 11 grand actually. We got big fish at the tournament too.
Where were you?
Lake Norman.
Fantastic. Where do you live?
Lake Norman.
Ah, it makes sense now.
Yeah, it does.
But dude, you could win this thing right now.
I know, that'd be awesome. That'd be the first boat I've ever won fishing a tournament. So.
How old are you?
23.
23. Hey, thank you for being such a great grandfather.
Oh, you're not going to ask me how old I am?
Sure.
No.
There's your 6-pounder.
I told you!
609. 609.
I said the big bass would be a 6-pounder!
Well, we ain't through yet.
I say we stop it.
I'm for that, everybody. It's over. Go home. Bye.
The $1,000 bonus for the big bass.
That's pretty awesome.
Now, give us some details.
I came on a jig off a dock about 10 foot deep.
You a married man?
Absolutely.
How much will she get?
Whatever she wants.
Now, if she says, I want that $1,000, you're going to give her.
Well, I'll only get half of it, so she can have 500.
Is she here?
No.
Don't tell her.
Well, she'll know before I get home, and I won't have to tell her.
Tell her that your partner caught it.
It doesn't matter. We split it off.
Sweet. That's what a marriage is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You got to take and give. It's just a little more give sometimes.
Looking pretty good. Got 5 total, right?
Yes, sir.
What kind of weight do you think you got?
Bumping 14, I'm hoping.
You know our lead is just over 14 pounds right now.
Oh, Lord, you got me shaking now.
What do we need, guys? We need
14.53.
14.53. New leader.
Oh, all right. That sounds good to me.
Dude, what did you do out there?
He caught him on spinnerbait. I was just watching.
Did you catch any fish today?
Yeah. I caught 2.
Okay. But he was leading.
He caught
How many fish did you catch total?
Probably 10 or 12.
Were they shallow?
Coming on 5, 6 foot of water stumps.
Dude, y'all got it wired.
No, my arm's sore.
You sore?
My arm's sore.
Chris McDuffie and Greg Creech took home first place honors and rode home in their new boat trailer package. Let's take a look at the final standings on this week's leaderboard. Well, now how often do you see this? Near whiteout conditions as a blinding snow fell during the weigh-in of the North Carolina Division qualifier for the Carolinas Bass Challenge on Lake Norman near Charlotte, North Carolina. 170 teams braved the overcast and cold 34-degree weather that hit Lake Norman with a fury. Anglers used a variety of methods and techniques, all in hopes of cashing that big $10,000 check.
We actually had a limit this morning by an hour, but that's the first scull we've been able to do all day.
Y'all just been basically flipping piers?
Well, we still caught all the ones this morning cranking back down there next to the bridge.
Really?
It kind of slowed down and we ran up in the river and the water got colder and we figured we'd come up here, but it was a lot clearer than where we've been all day.
So you got 11 pounds?
Back to crawl over.
I think 11 pounds will make quite get a check today. That's all we want to do.
That's what we're shooting for.
Carolina's Bass Challenge offers a guaranteed $5,000 first place prize payout at all of their events, plus the opportunity to earn an additional $5,000 bonus from Skeeter Yamaha. The more anglers that participate, the higher the payout. Not only do anglers have the chance for a guaranteed payout, but at the Carolinas Bass Challenge, they know that a day on the water can sure work up an appetite, and there's nothing like a hot bowl of beans and slaw after a cold day on the water. Congratulations to Jason Wilson and Kelly Logan as they brought in the first place bag with 15.44 pounds, winning the $10,000 first place prize. Plus, as the highest finishing Skeeter Yamaha team, they qualified for an additional $5,000 bonus, which created a $15,000 payday.
We really didn't get to pre-fish because you can't fish the week of the tournament because it's off limits, which I think is the greatest thing for any tournament. It gives a working man an opportunity to compete with some of these guys, but we've been fishing out here all winter. I mean, me and him both fished a whole lot, and we've done good in a lot of the tournaments, but we hadn't won one, but this is definitely the best one to win. We picked a good one.
We started out first thing this morning, first 2 casts, we caught 2 pretty good fish and got things going, and then later on the day it kind of got slow and we was skipping jigs and caught a couple on jerk bait and 2 on crankbait that we weighed, and the biggest fish I guess was probably 4.5 pound. I mean, they was all about like bookends.
Congrats, guys. Here's the top 5 after this day on Lake Norman.
This portion of the program is sponsored by Buckeye Lures and by Anglers Channel. If it has to do with fishing, you'll find it at anglerschannel.com.
Now it's time for our Sportsman's Warehouse Product Spotlight, brought to you by Strike King Lure Company and their Pro Tip of the Week, On the Water with Pro Kevin Van Dam.
Hey, Kevin Van Dam here. We just got out on the water here. We're at Kentucky Lake. We're here in the fall. We're at the Strike King Writers Conference, and you know, conditions are typical of fall. We've got a cool morning. We got a little bit of wind blowing, which is probably a good thing. You know, we got a big grass bed here. You know, there's lots of hydrilla this year. You know, the drought all over the country has you know, hurt some areas, but on Kentucky Lake it's probably helped because the water's been stable. It's really allowed the grass to get really tall and thick. You know, they've dropped the lake down now, so a lot of it's matted out. And the fish are chasing shad. You know, they're on that fall pattern. They're starting, the water temperature's dropping now. It's just below 70 degrees. With this wind this morning, we're gonna try a spinnerbait. You know, the best bite has been topwater. You know, you look and watch these big grass flats when it's calm and you can see the bass chasing shad and you know what areas to look at. With this wind this morning, we really can't see anything, see where they're at. So we're just gonna, you know, put the trolling motor down and go down a big stretch of it, and hopefully we can run into some little pods of them. We'll see what happens. You know, to me, when you see conditions like this, it makes you think about, you know, hey, what are my options? What's the best choices that I've got to, you know, to try to get these fish to bite? You know, it's first thing in the morning like this, the light's low, got good wind blowing. Right here, I got wind blowing right on a point of grass. You know, it's just perfect for a spinnerbait. You know, I could throw a square bill on this outside grass. I could throw a buzz bait over the top. You know, you could throw you know, something like a swimming caffeine shad or a Shadalicious swim bait along here too. The water's pretty clear, you know, so it's got good visibility, but with this low light and this wind and the fish chasing shad, it's hard to beat a spinnerbait. You know, when you look at that going through the water right there, it's really very natural, and that's what you have to do when the water's clear like this. So it is pretty good cold front right now. The fish activity level might not be what it normally is, but you know, I'm always gonna start with the high percentage choice of a lure that I can cover a lot of water with and it's gonna be efficient and really match the forage, and that's what a spinnerbait really does a good job of. There's one. He's right on the point. I mean, that's right where the fish should be. God, he hammered it too. It's a good keeper fish. You know, I mean, he just hammered that spinnerbait. I came all the way right here to the end of this this little grass point, threw a spinnerbait right across the upwind side of it, and he pounded it. So good sign right there when they hit it like that, that you got the right bait, the right color. Another good thing is there's probably more there. You know, there's probably more right close. He was very aggressive.
Thanks, Kevin. Remember to visit your local Sportsman's Warehouse or go online to www.sportsmanswarehouse.com for all your fishing and outdoor needs. In other tournament news, 2013 kicked off with a bang as the FLW Tour started out at beautiful Lake Okeechobee in Florida, as well as the 2013 Bassmaster Classic visited Grand Lake in Oklahoma.
Mississippi, give me a little bit of love for Game Face, Cliff Pace. Looking for 8.5. He's got 4 fish, 1 short of a limit. 11 pounds, 8 ounces. Cliff Pace has done it.
I bounced around a great deal. You know, I was fishing a pattern more so than a specific spot. The only alteration I made to the jig was I trimmed the weed guard. When these fish are biting real funny like this, I don't want very many strands of fiber in my jig. I cut a few out of the front of the weed guard, and I cut it where if you lay your scissors across the top of the hook, I go up about a 1/16 of an inch and cut it on that angle. And you know, when these fish are deep, especially when a big one bites that jig, and you set the hook, you really don't need much weed guard there, or you won't hook them. It takes a lot. I don't like to get too fired up and excited because when that happens, normally I break stuff. So it's much better for me just to be calm and mellow.
For this and more tournament news, all you have to do is go to the tournaments page on anglerschannel.com. That's all the time we have for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on the Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show.